Going live here on Instagram. What a day. Long day. Last time I was on here, I had Knives Monroe join us on this show, and something that I was trying to add to the live feed that we've got going on here is the addition of Pro Audio. And so I've been able to add Pro Audio, at least to Android devices at this time through Instagram Live. So as you can see, I've got the wired headset. Actually, it's wireless pretty much, as long as I can take out the headphones and I can pretty much go and do whatever I want to do in order to do this live feed. But I definitely wanted to, for when I have guests on the show, be able to add that ability with plugging in a set of wired headphones as well to get it to another level, an elevated level. Last time I did use Bluetooth headphones, which was actually was nice, but the microphone levels of Bluetooth headphones don't really allow you to do a lot of pro audio. I mean, there are some Bluetooth devices out there, wireless devices out there that do provide pretty good sound, but this is going to be an elevated professional level of sound, at least for like a podcast or for some sort of repurposed material, repurposed content after you've done a live video or something like that. And I know I'm bouncing around because my light, my available light is kind of a little bit orange, to be honest. Maybe if we kind of tightened it up or something like that. I don't know. The good thing about this is we have some freedom to move around, and I think I might just move over here onto the kitchen table in order to get this done. I don't want to get too far from the Wi-Fi, of course. It's kind of getting away from the Wi-Fi does make it a little bit harder for me to do these podcasts, but I'm going to try and add somebody to our cast here. I was kind of thinking about this podcast show on Instagram Live is going to be called Talking Head. And basically, it's going to be me talking about current events, social media, and what's going on as far as content creators, influencers, key opinion leaders are doing out there. For instance, like a Gary Vee or Gary Vee's videographer D-Rock, Tyler Babin, Knives Monroe, Trent Knox, Brian Kern, Sebastian Thomas, DJ SAB. The Tanner Walters out there, the Chris Morrisons out there, all of the people that I have personally worked with, those people that I look up to, those Tony Robbins, those Jordan Belforts, those Joe Rogans, those Joe Buddens, those content creators out there that are really elevating the game as far as putting out media online. You know, social media is growing, and you have your main channels, which are YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, but then you have additional channels like Snapchat, Twitch, LinkedIn. What other big ones are out there? TikTok is going off right now, and those are really, changing the landscape. I mean, we saw Vero come into the fold, but it really didn't take off, and not exactly sure what the next social media buzz is going to be. Right now we can see it's been TikTok. I mean, it's been growing on the charts, but I was just looking at an infograph the other day, and it's clear that the best marketing tool is email, direct email. Direct mail is a little bit more complicated. The return on investment on direct mail and the engagement rates are hard to hard to get a statistics or analytics from. It's hard to get a metric out of those things. Whereas, in email, you have open rates and you can kind of see who is actually utilizing the email to make a purchase or activate on make an activation in your business. And it's really dependent upon where you find yourself putting out the most information. If you find yourself putting out the most information through email, then you'll find more retention through email. If you find yourself putting more information out through Facebook, which is the second largest network aside from email, that has, I think it's like within the minute or minute and a half mark, about 1 million open rate, and globally. And then YouTube comes in at third. YouTube is the third largest open rate. It's about 500,000 to 750,000 active open rate on YouTube. And then after that, you definitely have Instagram. Instagram is the next largest engagement and open rate. The likes on Instagram range from about 500,000 per minute to about 750,000 per minute. And that's the type of numbers that we're talking about when we're talking about marketing and putting yourself towards new users, new activations, new clients, new partners, things of that nature. And so basically something that I want to do is talk about subject matters like marketing, advertisement, being an actor, being a filmmaker, being a content creator, an influencer, a key opinion leader out there who's creating content and working their way to being involved in traditional broadcasts as well as OTT and CDN networks in order to provide clients with an extra level of production value. This current setup right here is at least $150 an hour for just the setup. I know it is a very simple setup, but the devices that you would need in order to accomplish this high quality, this level of quality in your video production is very expensive, especially the overhead on this, because we're talking about at least an upload speed of at least 50 megabytes per second. You have to have that, and you also need to have the download rate of at least 200 megabytes per second in order to be able to get the communication from your guest or whoever you're going to be having on as far as the IGTV and live feeds go. Also, you're going to need to be able to take that information that you've learned from that part of it and then apply it to redistribution and repurposing of that content. And that really takes an expert social media manager, also an audio engineer, and also a live stream engineer in order to comprehend all of that together. So your social media management, your live stream engineer, your audio engineer, your graphic designer, and the person that can encompass all of that in one video production editor is very, very limited, especially because you really want to be able to eventually take all of that information that I just gave you and piece that out to individuals. The one person that's in charge of mobile live stream video production, the one person who's in charge of mobile graphic design, the one person who's in charge of mobile social media management, the one person who's in charge of live video production, mobile live video production. These are all different categories in an overall elevated production. It doesn't, you don't get to just hop up off of you don't just get to hop on Instagram and provide professional quality just from your cellular device. If if it were the case, then the Apple AirPods or your brand new Beats Wireless Pros would be able to provide this level of content. But the issue is that Bluetooth has a latency issue with communicating over a network. So it comes down to a level in which you have to have hardware in order to provide professional quality live streaming for your clients. So for instance, if your client is looking to do professional live streaming on Instagram, then you're going to need to go out there and purchase the equipment in order to accomplish that goal. For instance, that could be microphones, headphones, audio interfaces, mixers, and wired adapters in order for the device that particular client utilizes with their Instagram live streams. For instance, right now I'm on an Android device, and Android has not all Androids, but a lot of Androids have a headphone jack in the cellular device, but this is actually not a headphone jack. It is a headset jack. And in order to get, I guess, a piece of hardware that allows you to both have wireless monitoring and also wireless audio, you would need to have a device that is able to communicate over a Bluetooth network or a RTF network. And those things they're not right now necessarily developed hardware pieces. So for instance, the wireless system that I'm using right now is the Sennheiser AVX system, and I'm using I can't remember what the brand is for this, but there is a Shure version and also a Sennheiser version of this, and also a Rode version of a microphone that has a locking auxiliary to attach to the AVX system. And then I had to purchase a Y splitter for the headphone and microphone to adapt to a TRRS connection. TRRS is tip ring sleeve. The tip is the left or right channel, then the sleeve is your microphone, and then the tip is left, the first ring is right, then you have your microphone, and then you have your ground at the bottom. So tip ring sleeve. That was developed by Nokia, which eventually was adopted by Samsung and other Android devices. The other problem that you may face is if your client has an iPhone, or if they have if they just have a device other than Android, whether that's a Windows phone, something like that, you may run into the fact that Apple has changed their TRRS connections. Apple has a proprietary TRRS connection in which the ground and one of the channels are switched. So you have to go with something like an iRig, an iRig Pro, which is by IK Media or IK Media or something like that. IK Technologies. You can pick it up at Guitar Center. I'm fixing to go pick up mine. That allows you to have XLR inputs for your clients. So, for instance, if you're doing anything mobile, whether it's IGTV, Instagram Live, Facebook Live, or anything from a mobile device, you're going to need these sorts of hardware pieces in order to provide your client with that elevated quality. And then once you get that elevated quality, what you need to learn is the ability to use social media management and graphic design in order to repurpose that content for other places like IGTV, for your Instagram feed, for your Facebook news feed, for your Facebook page, wherever that content is going to be distributed. You have to understand how Instagram Live works and how you can save the Instagram Live and then repurpose that content. Anyway, so that is a little bit of an educational piece of what's going to happen in these talking head podcasts. The other part of this is going to be the talking about what other video influencers are doing in their world. So, for instance, let's talk about events first. So, there's NAB recently passed. It was in I believe it was at the end of June, or maybe the beginning of June, like June 6th was National Association of Broadcasters convention. In that convention, people, some of the most notable things were the Rode Go mic. If you are out there and you're doing wireless transmissions, and you're doing videography that needs a lavalier system, the Go mic for $99 is incredibly versatile. That's something that you can go out there and get right away and be able to use. It also provides an extra level of you can add these headsets to it and be able to do fitness work or other things. And thank you. I saw this, R. Bryce. Thank you for joining in and watching a little bit of this. Going in there and basically providing your clients with wireless lavalier system for a very, very, very inexpensive opportunity to use that. So then you have that got released. We're looking forward to the Zoom F6. The Zoom F6 is going to be a 32-bit flow system, which is crazy because it's a float system, and that means that essentially you won't have to adjust any sorts of the gain when you won't be peaking. You'll be peaking at your microphone before you're ever peaking on the actual recording system. Some other things that I could say that were highlights: the lighting systems from Aperture, incredible systems coming from Aperture. The camcorder that I have, the JVC GY-HM250U, was released, I think, in 2015. No, my bad. 2015 or 2016. It's a live streaming dedicated camcorder. They released the 500 series of the same lineage, and it's just an elevated, larger capacity, full frame. Full frame. I want to say full frame, or at least a 1-inch CMOS sensor on that particular camera. We're talking about really high quality live streaming production at the $5,000 mark. That's incredible. Recently released, wasn't at NAB, was the Panasonic AGX 350 or something like that. It's something right around there. Don't quote me on that. It's also a live streaming camera with 4K capability built in. It's really crazy technology we're talking about here. Then there's also the Boxcaster Pro that was released. I think it's been out for a while, but those devices are really elevating the game. Looking at the Bond backpack from Teradek and the Link Pro from them, allowing for basically having a base camp or a video village in a remote location, working off of 4 to 6 bonded cellular networks. With the Bond backpack, you can almost have up to 10 bonded networks, depending upon your situation. It would having a redundancy factor of 10 networks if you're inside of like a convention or a really terrible network situation. You get 10 bonded networks. It's like, that's nuts. It's the cost to have that sort of redundancy factor is quite high. We're talking in the thousands to $2,000 upkeep and maintenance on those devices per month. But at the same point in time, if you really have that kind of if you have that budget and you want that sort of versatility, then you're going to want to get that Teradek Bond unit, because the other competitors in the market, like for instance LiveView backpack, LiveView Solo, all these devices, they're not giving you that extra level of redundancy like Teradek is. Teradek is going to the extra mile and giving you that 10 bonded networks solution. what else can I have to say? So, as far as content creators go, I mean, Joe Budden, the hip hop artist Joe Budden, he just recently started. I saw he did a live stream on YouTube. He was having some issues with audio engineering, and he was having an issue where one of his microphones was going into one channel, and another one of his microphones was going into another channel. The issue may have been that it was panned left, panned right. Not exactly sure. I'm not sure if they're using a switchboard, if they were on a mixer, what they were doing, if they were using an audio interface, how they were actually processing that data live. But what they were doing caused Joe Budden's microphone to be in the left channel and for the rest of them to be in the right channel. And even then, the gain on the left and the right channel weren't set to be married. So there was a little bit of an issue there with what was going on with his audio system. And then that kind of led to maybe an hour to an hour and 15 minutes of people just trying to figure the thing out. And not a lot of content created out of that situation there, but at least we can now see that serious people who make money in traditional influencers are taking live streaming seriously. They're actually going out there and producing content for those platforms. They're actually going out there and taking the time to learn these tools. But I mean, they're 10 to 15 years behind the curve. If they want to learn the things that are going to be, have the highest return on investment, the least losses to their profits, the things that they're needing to do is not spend more money at something, but get someone or some service to provide them with the education in order to accomplish what they want to accomplish. The other thing that is important is that people know how to create content. I feel like it's a struggle for me to come up with creative things to do. I mean, this is pretty creative. I don't think that anyone else is doing this. I don't think anybody else is really putting the time or effort into it because they don't realize if they are successful how much more successful they could be if they applied these techniques to their followers, their community, the people that engage with them, and it'll give them an elevated level of content creation. And I think that in order for people to really realize that the people on Instagram, the people that are behind the scenes of these platforms, they need to be changing things less and improving things more. The more that people change things, the more difficult it becomes to broadcast your message or provide people with value. And people can, for instance, yesterday Twitter was down. Apparently Reddit was down from what I heard, and there were issues with people posting. The website was crashed, and people kind of become conspiracy theorists as to why certain things were being blocked or certain things weren't getting broadcasted. For instance, IG Live, they took away the discoverability feature, so that if for content creators out there that want to do Instagram Live and become popular on that website, or popular creating content for Instagram Live, they are hindered by there's no ability for them to be discovered. There's no discoverability unless the individual, the people or the viewers out there are already followers and they get notified that the individual has gone live, or the individual is doing a live feed, whatever it may be, or they drop an IGTV after the fact. I'm not even sure what the discoverability is for IGTV, for instance, but I assume that with IGTV that there is a easy discoverability factor. I mean, it kind of bridges in between the two forms of content, your Instagram feed and your IGTV feed, whereas you can kind of promote IGTV longer format video on your Instagram feed, and then they can go and watch the rest, I guess, on IGTV. And they've also adjusted it now so that if it's a horizontal video, you can turn your device and it will go full screen. That's an incredible feature to be added. I'm just not exactly sure why they haven't added back the features like the ability to upload more than 10 minutes of video for anybody, because they took away that from smaller content creators. Because originally, when I was on IGTV, I could upload up to 60 minutes of content to the website, and now they've limited me to 10 minutes. I'm not exactly sure what can be done. I mean, to get access back to those things, because it's becoming way more difficult to get to that 10,000 follower mark, to get to that place in which you're actually getting engagement, getting exposure, being able to be recognized, to be able to be provide people with entertainment or education or whatever the thing is that they're missing out on because they're not able to discover you. The ability for them to search you through a database is not there unless they actually know you, which is not, which isn't the way that it should be done. I think people should be able to be discovered in any form or fashion. I think that we should live publicly. I think that this was something that was proposed a long time ago, that we would be able to meet new people online and not have any hindrance in doing such. I feel like we become more and more retro. We keep on destroying the things that make these social media platforms great. Every single other just around the corner, someone's disabling a feature or changing a feature in which it creates more limitations than it does benefits, and that's unfortunate. Of course, I think that it sucks that you have to have the latest device or the most this or the most that. You have to be the most funny or the most this, and there's no creative middle ground. There's no this person's cool or this person creates meaningful content. It doesn't have to be the best. It has to resonate with someone, and the middle is being just pretty much destroyed. You either are at 0 or you're at 1,000,000. That's crazy. Talk to me. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, there's no middle ground. There's no ability for the person who's at 600 followers or 1,000 or 2,000 to get to the level in which they can have more followers. And when you look at the statistics, when you look at the actual analytics and the metrics of Instagram accounts on Social Blade, you can tell where the platform is dedicating their discoverability to. They're trying to push the corporate platforms, for instance, like the music labels, the Hollywood talent agencies, the network broadcast stations, the colleges, the things the places where original content isn't created. So you get all of this, repurposed content that is, someone discovered something that was original, done by someone in the middle, or from the lower follower count, and they just steal the content and put it up for larger platforms, and that really is unfortunate, because it's hard for new content creators to discover that their content has been stolen, and there's no easy way for them to get representation. There's no easy way for me to get representation. There's no way to get representation, because the legal teams, the lawyers out there that could defend someone, they're not educated on this form of contract entertainment law or education platform law. These sorts of things are very new. They're cutting edge. So it's the wild west for pretty much everyone who's on any sort of social media. It's hard for people to realize that we lived in a world before this, and in that world, it was limited to a artistic elite, those elitists who would silence the good actors, or silence the actors that could outperform someone else who was out there. And the competition wasn't a real competition, because it was dependent upon who you knew, who you were related to, or what school you went to. Now it seems that the upper elite artistic communities are just stealing content and repurposing it for no cost, and there's no defense. There's no way for you to defend yourself as a content creator. But I'll buy it. There are certain circumstances like H3H3 in which they kind of defeated some of the, in a very roundabout way, created an avenue where you could do critical analysis of of upper echelon content creators, and giving some of the freedom back to content creators. And I know I just took you down a long road to explain the whole portion of why it's important for the elite or the big box stores to not be able to suppress the small voices, is because they are additionally stealing the content of the small creators and not giving us the ability to monetize and earn income from the content that we come up with, the creative original content that we come up with. And that really bothers me, because what I see is happening is that the spaces in which content creators began developing content they're being pushed out by, and this happened a long time ago on YouTube, but now on Facebook and on Instagram, you're starting to see, your MTV, your A&E, your big networks coming in and pushing people out. You get your Coca-Colas, your food and beverages that are now pushing out those small business SMB, and it's because certain individuals who grew their following wanted to go out there and make a little extra dollars or get a little bit more money from the faucet, and that or maybe, you know, they wanted to, you know, drink straight from the fire hose, so they allowed those bigger box stores or those bigger box companies to come in and take over their market. You know, their market was Facebook, their market was Instagram, their market was Snapchat, their market was these things, and it no longer is, because big box brands are willing to invest in the platforms. They're willing to get into the social media game now, instead of, you know, previously when they, you know, degraded it and they said that social media, you know, that's for your 34-year-old single white male that sits in a basement and lives at his mom's house. Well, that may or may not be true, but you now have CEOs, corporate representatives at these big box stores that are those 34-year-old white males that live at their mom's house. And they do that because they want to earn enough capital through the system in order to build their own brand later on in life when they retire. You know, whether that's, you know, an automotive business, a landscaping business, whatever your small business idea is, or maybe it's even the development of a new hardware piece or a new piece of a new thing to solve a problem that has been around for years. You know, something that my university advisor and dean had said to me when I was fixing to graduate was, you know, the market is kind of saturated as far as Hollywood is concerned, and even at the small, you know, independent filmmaker level, it's hard to get funding for a narrative feature or anything. There's a lot of competition in getting funding. You know, you do have your platforms to crowdsource, but you do need a large social media following. And at the time, my mind was focused on the education and the critical analysis rather than the networking and the communication between people wasn't as important as the delivery and the value behind it. So it's really hard to, you know, create value when it's really hard to display value now in this day and age, because the large majority of people are opening emails, watching Facebook, doing things like that. They're not out there. Hey, what's up, Cheshire? How you doing? They aren't doing traditionally what they used to do. The OTTs like Netflix, Hulu, HBO Go, they've all kind of taken over the market as far as as narrative filmmaking and documentary work and event productions, like a Beyonce film or something like that, which happened on Tidal or at Netflix, or like a concert coverage. That's all been taken over by OTT and distributed over there. Whereas like traditional broadcasts like ABC, A&E, they are struggling to hold their market share when it comes to original content. And even they are trying to move into this digital space, and they're trying to move into the digital space well by developing apps and whatnot to help people get more discoverability, the more ability to watch on the go. And I think that as we go, especially what we saw with Disney, now Disney has made their own online distribution system. Disney's now going to take up all of the Marvels, all of the MCU universe, and put it, and all the Star Wars, and put it on their platform, and take that distribution away from Netflix, away from Hulu, away from HBO Go, away from all of these things. And especially since now they have Fox podcast rights, so they're going to get also Fast and the Furious. They're also going to get all of those things to go on beyond the Disney platform. How long that will be till that all turns over, I don't know. But essentially what I was saying is that, you know, having gone to school, my advisor's telling me that this is all that's going on. That the key thing that they were trying to make a point of was that you need to go out there and you need to create a piece of tangible good or some sort of software to make your name. You can't just go out there and have an idea for a film, or you have a idea for an album, and just put it out there and expect it for it to be, critically acclaimed or accepted by the masses, because the systems, the large big box television and the big box stores that used to distribute CDs, records, VHSs, DVDs, they no longer hold the majority of the market. The majority of the market's owned by these OTTs. So they basically said that you need to go out there and invent something, whether that's the next drone or the next camera or the next this or that. But eventually just, figuring out a piece of hardware that people can, utilize in their production. And so I respect that, all of that. But it's a struggle, it's a struggle. It's a struggle to get the capital to even start to conceptualize a design framework for something that could solve a problem for content creators, whether that's OTT, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting OTT, or content distribution network, CDN, and providing those independent filmmakers, those independent, wouldn't call them independent, but independent studios, which is like, I guess, a community of filmmakers is in a studio, which makes them kind of dependent filmmakers. But, small independent studios that create content for OTT, like Amazon Prime, like Netflix, like Hulu, like Vimeo for those of you who still use Vimeo, and creating that content and putting out there on the platform. And I think that in order for content creators to be successful on YouTube right now, you both need to be technical and you also need to be creative, because you have to know how to promote organically the content that you put out into the ecosystem. So for instance, when I see something like Tyler Babin go out there and express that he needs assistance in creating his content, I can understand why that would be. And I don't think that he's doing that in order to really get content from people. What I think he's trying to do is highlight the steps it takes, the intellectual steps, the philosophical steps that it takes in order to be successful on YouTube. And he could be also just trying to build up his email list. Either way, I think that the content creators out there like Casey Neistat, Tyler Babin, Knives Monroe, Will Smith, those people out there that are, on the upper echelon of vloggers, they know that the system is changed on YouTube. It is becoming more and more difficult for them to monetize, because things are being demonetized based off of unknown reasons, because maybe there's something in the video that somebody wants to copyright strike or whatever the reason will be. But the basis for people to monetize on YouTube is 4,000 watched hours, 1,000 subscribers, and you have to be a part of the YouTube partner program. And there has to be at least some sort of engagement with those subscribers. They have to be commenting, liking. There has to be something that kind of cohesively brings all that together. And some sort of way. And then additionally, the watch time has to be consistent with the length of the videos that you're distributing. This is a very similar for what is required with becoming a Facebook partner and being verified on Facebook and monetizing through ads on Facebook. And I've been currently watching a Facebook original, not Facebook original, but MTV has now taken up Facebook Watch to do the real world, and it's now in Atlanta. And I've been watching their structure and the way that they are distributing their content and the video editors that they're using in order to produce a show effectively on the Facebook platform, as well as TI's show. And the Facebook Watch platform is kind of difficult to understand what's going on there. It's not easy to discover things on that platform. It's hard to find what's a Facebook original, what is a Facebook premiere or official video. It's hard to figure out a lot on Facebook Watch. It's difficult to even watch things on Facebook. And I think that's because they want a majority. They don't want to detract a lot of their viewership from IGTV, so they're kind of limiting. They put a limiter on the Facebook Watch features because it was going in the direction of Facebook Watch being one of the first highlighted pieces on the Facebook app, and they've taken away from that, and I don't know why. I don't know why they've removed the Facebook Watch ability. It's kind of, I don't know the purpose behind it, but we can chalk that up to just their attempt to do something different, something new. I don't necessarily know what that would be. But with YouTube is becoming a little bit more cluttered, I want to say. Like, the subscriptions that I am subscribed to, it's difficult to define what videos I want to watch most, and then for that algorithm to use its AI capabilities to distribute to me on my homepage the things that I would find more or less more entertaining or valuable. I think that with YouTube, if it were easier to organize, easier to organize from a user standpoint who you value more. I know Facebook does a good job with that, with the see first ability. So if a page is something that you want to see more than other pages, but you still want to follow those other pages, you can go in there and select that page to be seen first. There's just so much that's going on social media with the new video player that Vimeo put out that's actually more shareable, more embeddable, more versatile, more mobile friendly, more mobile optimized, there's just more capabilities being pushed to the forefront for video. And I think there's not enough consistency in content creators. I think that one of the biggest questions that was in the Tyler Babin video is whether the person should do daily content. Tyler Babin should be producing daily content. And in my opinion, and something that I did say in a different context was, as the great Jake Paul says, it's every day, bro. It's every day, bro. People are looking at your content every day. People are looking for entertainment every day. It's not, back in the day, it was partly due to scheduling and whatnot, and the fact that someone needed to be able to be at home at a certain time in order for them to watch a television show or a movie that was being released on television. So then it kind of limited the people who were producing television to reality of how much time you have to go spend on something like that. But now with cell phones and whatnot, it's way different. You can put out a television show that's in multiple hours of television every day. You can put that out and people can watch it in their downtime, wherever they are. There's no limitations on when someone can see something. There's a limitation on the discoverability, but there's no limitation on when the person could watch it. Like, it's always readily available. Give me a moment real quick. I'm just going to double check this situation real quick. I'm just making sure that even in the last part of this, I'm going to disconnect. I'm still going to be around. I just want to go grab my other device so that I can finish up this Instagram live. Also, I'm going to be repurposing this for a podcast as soon as I can. I'm trying to also put this all together so that we can ultimately have like a fitness show. We can have some health and wellness. We can have some sports broadcast. We can just keep adding things to this, whether it's IGTV, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, wherever, just something mobile, just a little bit of a mobile setup. I definitely need to figure out some way to add some sort of audio interface or something like that to this setup. It's gonna get better. Mobile communication is getting better and better. I need to give this guy a call, see where he's at. Be like, where are you at? DJSAB? What are you doing? I've been doing this little show for over an hour almost. It's about to go on out. I'm not actually sure when this live is going to end, but oh hey, this is my dog. My dog's in the photo or in the video. I wanted to get on here and test this out, see what all the fuss is about. If anybody would be interested in seeing this, if I'm going to be able to actually download the video after and then repurpose that content for another, post for my Instagram feed. I want to just kind of have the ability to give my clients in videography an elevated experience, do new things, do things more, just do things better, just elevate. That's all I'm looking to do is create a better situation, give everyone needs more. Everybody needs more, and they want to see the coolest thing. And this is the coolest thing. This is the coolest thing. that there is out there as far as high-end video production and audio production is concerned. I mean, if someone's out there and they can create a wireless system that does this, I think that that's going to be the best. I think that, come on, up, say hello. This is my dog. If you're watching this on the IGTV, she's actually very shy. She's really shy. She doesn't. I don't know. She doesn't really like that many dogs. She's she doesn't, when she's at the park, she likes to run around, but she doesn't like to socialize. She gets scared and she barks a lot. And she has some friends that live with her. She's got 2 other dogs that live with her. She wants to lick my face, and I'm not going to allow her. And what else? What else about you? Her name is Milkshake. She's, I think, 3 years old now. Almost 4 years old now. She was born in Colorado Springs. She's my favorite. She's one of my favorite dogs I've ever had, but also one of the most pain in the butts that I've ever had. She's a blue heeler lab mix. She's black and white with spots, black spots on her stomach. She has like a weird funky eye on her left eye is kind of weird and funky. It's only weird and funky because the pattern on her head is not even, or it's not symmetrical. The pattern on her head is actually on the left side. There's more white than there is on the right side. And her nose is always running. She has allergies. My dog has allergies that prevent her from really doing a lot. She is constantly scratching her ear, and I don't know whether that's either because of the allergies or if it's just like bugs or whatnot. I look inside of her ears every once in a while, and I don't see that many. That much. There's not that much going on in there, and that's the frustrating part. It's not like super red or anything like that, but I don't even see under there. Every once in a while, I have to shear her all the way down because she sheds a lot. And so I'll shear her, and she won't shed as much, but her coat is, it's always kind of funny looking whenever she gets shaved all the way down. And then I shear her tail as well, so that I'm not leaving like a big fluff of anything that's on there. She has allergies where like she's constantly itching her paws or eating her paws, and I'm not sure what that's all about. She eats her paws. She used to eat poop, like dog poop. She used to eat a lot of dog poop. She stopped doing that much. She constantly likes to play in the water bowl. She messes up the water bowl, and no, don't eat that. And she knocks the food bowl around on purpose. She's timid. When people are entering the door, she barks a whole lot, and she gets rough, and she knocks things down. She breaks things every once in a while. She'll just accidentally hit the table, and then the things on the table will fall down and break. And then she does it. She's clumsy. She's very clumsy. And because she's clumsy, she knows to be careful, and as a result, she's just really scared and nervous and has a lot of anxiety because she's not that aware of her size. She thinks that she's small like the other dogs, and she's just medium sized, which is about 127 pounds, I think, is how much she weighs, or maybe like 115, something like that. Is it 115? She said 115. I think she eats a lot, I would say. Drinks a lot of water. And she's my dog, and her name is Milkshake. And I got two other dogs. My other dogs that live here are, one of them is a Dachshund Lab mix, and the other one is a Dachshund. Okay, we got 24 seconds till this live ends, so thank you for tuning in. Cheshire and Bryce 06. Thank you. I'll be posting this up again on my IGTV, and I'll be adding this Talking Heads to my podcast. Follow me on social media.